Jangle.
We have now entered the lab, episode 55, the Elvis Escobar, Sad Boys LLC, aka Fort Sama. Merry Christmas for everybody that celebrated this past weekend. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any of the other fake, real holidays that y'all celebrate. We respect it all. New Year's coming right around the corner. With Enter the Lab, we will be going into the new year, doing that typical new year, new us. We'll be changing things up in the lab.
Let's get it, man.
Whether that's going live more often, every episode, maybe 2 episodes a week, but shorter.
Why do we have to wait to the new year? Why can't we just start now?
Because I was a bitch this episode, and I wanted to get my affairs in order. You know what I mean?
You don't have to wait till the new year if you want to achieve your goals. You could just start right away. No. Why? What difference does it make?
I agree with that. This time,
3 days ain't gonna hurt me.
Yeah, you're right. This time I took the executive producer role, and I wanted to start the new year. It'll be year 2 of Enter the Lab, year 3 for us on a podcast, starting in 2023, which is very cool. So we'll bring, hopefully in the new year, 2023, we'll bring more interviews, more guests, kind of change up some things from the vibe, because from the vibe of the podcast, because sometimes you could get a little redundant, you get a little stuck. So we plan to hopefully, give a little jolt in the podcast.
But you were switch it up for y'all.
Yeah, please. Everything needs to evolve. Everything needs to change up. We hear your feedback. People that are at least close to me that listen every single week give me feedback. I'm sure the same to you. So it's not like we're going to listen to everything, because that'll drive us crazy. But we do take the things that we do here to heart, and
we're already crazy enough.
Yeah, we don't got to add on top of it. That's for sure. But
sure, look at me. I'm wearing a fucking ski mask on a podcast episode, drinking wine, trying to not stain it.
Right, sophisticated. So you were down in South Florida this weekend for Christmas. How was it? Talk to me. You went to the Dolphins game last minute. Did you get any good gifts? Break it down for me. Sad Boys LLC.
Shout out VITO.
Shout out VITO. Happy birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday, my guy, my fucking guy. He's also like, it's not even close as far as shout outs. It's him and BR, like, on the pod. Like, honestly. My man's got me the ski mask. He called me. He's like, you're gonna pass by a vendor that's selling something and you're gonna want to buy it, but don't buy it. I was like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about right now? He's like, it's a ski mask. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cop that. He's like, no, I already bought you one. I'm like, oh, it's lit. All right, bet. But yeah, yeah, for real. Me, or Cheese and I, Jake, we, the whole week, bro, he was trying to get me to go, and I just, I didn't really want to go and fork up that kind of money, and we didn't do anything this year on Christmas Eve, which we normally do, and Christmas, we don't.
You mean family wise?
Yeah, us Spanish people, we don't really celebrate Christmas on Christmas. So once my mom was like, yeah, we're not doing anything tonight, I was like, all right, let's go to the game. Like,
let's hit up Tootsie's. Oh wait, yeah, the football game.
Yeah. They were handing out free admission cards to Tootsie's for those of y'all that like that kind of establishments.
It's below our taste level for sure.
Not me anymore. I'm doing a way better job of controlling my urges.
Nice.
And I did start on that. I'm not waiting until 2023. So
same year, new you is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, no, we went down, no tickets. We were trying to scalp, and then we were just like, fuck it. Went on Ticketmaster, bought the bit the bullet, paid for fees and shit like that.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, our seats were pretty good. It was cold as fuck though. I ain't gonna lie.
for real.
I was like taking the ski mask on and off, putting it back on because my nose was getting red and shit. And like behind us, it was open, so like sometimes that little breeze would come in and it would get a little bit chillier. And I mean, the game was fun. It was a great game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it was a fun ass game. Supposedly Tua got concussed again, and I'm not even mad at him for it because that's up to coaching staff, that's up to the training staff, medical
Hmm.
staff. That's what you have those guys around there, and it's not the first time it happens to him, so you can't use that as an excuse. Oh, we didn't know. It's the third time this season that he's had that kind of issue, so you already know kind of the symptoms that he might have going into having a concussion. And second half, he looked off because he doesn't make throws like that normally. He's usually a pretty accurate quarterback, and I mean, that last pick, I took off. Jake was trying to record me, and he's like, "Bro, you were gone before I even had my phone out." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna let you catch me lacking, bro. I was gone."
She.
I was like, "You think I'm gonna watch Aaron Rodgers do victory formation at Hard Rock? No way, dog. Ain't no way. Ain't no way."
Yeah, it's been cold out. It was I pictured when just watching what you were wearing in my house, I had like not even the windows open or I cracked the window at one point on Saturday and or Sunday or no Sunday and Monday and it was freezing to the point where I had to wear like thicker socks, I had to have my little snuggie on me and a hoodie. How was it weather-wise? It was what you were wearing didn't seem appropriate for Florida. And I know the rest of the country is going through a big, cold front that we can't even, compare or complain about.
Right.
Ohio was the coldest Cleveland Browns game ever recorded. New York was like 10, 15 degrees. So you looked a little underdressed for a little bit from what I saw.
Me, no, I had my
You were good?
yeah, I had a shirt. I had my tank top. I had a shirt, and then I had the crew neck that Vito let me borrow, and then I was wearing my sweatpants. I probably should have worn like my little like Adidas ones, little Adidas like sweatpants that are really fucking nice, by the way. If you
Mm,
need some like gym pants or some casual like everyday kind of pants for work or whatnot, like get these Adidas pants. They're like $40, but some of the best like pants I've ever bought. Probably could have done well wearing those under it just to be a little bit better.
hmm.
It was mostly the rain, bro. Like just
And the
the
rain
rain
on
that,
top of it for
yeah.
sure.
Because like I'm cool now. I'm a little bit used to it because I'll wake up in the morning. The last like month and a half when I wake up here in Georgia, it's like 30, 35 in the morning, and it's been raining a lot too. It'll
Yeah.
be kind of rainy in the morning, so the 45, like it was like 42, 45, like walking towards the stadium, and for a little bit I could my hands were just like numb, and then like I started feeling my feet go as I'm walking around. I'm like, all
Hmm.
right, let's go. But I can't even complain, bro, because like you said, there's other states out there that are really going
Yep.
through it. Blizzards, all that kind of stuff. I saw like some people dying in their cars in Buffalo, shit like that.
Shit.
So it's real sad. It's real sad, and we got it good. And
We do. I
yeah,
appreciate it. I love it every single year. Every time that cold front comes in January, February, I love it. This year it came a little earlier than last year, and it came out of nowhere where it was like, high 80s, 90s, and then boom, next couple days it was 60s for the whole day. I can't remember the last time where I think it was Saturday. I woke up and at 2 p.m., where it's supposed to be the warmest day part of the day, it was 55 degrees. I don't remember the last time. I don't think last year that was a thing. It gets low down here when the sun goes down, but not when the sun is supposed to be all the way up. So
no,
In Florida, the highs is going to get warmer every single day. I'm looking at the forecast now over the next week. This week, it's going to get to the high 70s eventually this week, and then get into the low 80s next week. So it
and
was
that
just
was
a
the
cold
thing.
front
Like,
that came through.
yeah, if it would have been like 45 and sunny for the game, I would have been cool, no problem. But it was just overcast, cloudy, fucking rainy. Like I felt like I was in Seattle, bro. I was like, this ain't it. Like it's not
Yeah,
cool.
it had that
But
miserable vibe for Christmas this year in South Florida for sure.
yeah, I had that Grinch vibe, and of course, the Dolphins didn't make it any better. I don't know,
Sad,
bro. I really
sad
don't
boys.
understand. I really don't understand why I do this to myself every year. Like, why I do this? And then the worst part about it is, I get home and my dad, who doesn't know shit about football, he starts talking shit. He's like, "Oh, you saw the Dolphins game?" I'm like, "Yes, bro.
Oh
You
damn.
knew I was going.
Oh
Like,
damn.
why you gotta do this to me?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. Our teams lose. You can't win every game." I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Uh huh.
"Shut the fuck up!" Like,
Hit you with that generic motivation line.
oh,
But hey, appreciate you for coming through, sliding through the crib, hanging out. Got a
good
little
time.
crunk. Broke up a
Finally got
bottle.
to, yeah, got to have the BR and the
Shout out
VR.
BR.
So
BR and VR. Billionaires Row. My boy tasted it for the first time. We took one shot. We were gonna dive into more shots, but you were sipping on tequila prior to. I was on the tequila tip before, but what do you think about it?
it was decent.
Any
It was
promo?
decent. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It seems like it's kind of like an acquired type of thing, So I might have to try it a little bit more.
It's not something
Maybe
you would take
get my
shots
own
of.
bottle.
You should.
No,
Hey,
no, yeah,
knock
yeah.
knock. You know what I mean? Like if you're listening,
No, it's
shots
definitely
shots
not
isn't a
something you take
thing. Yeah,
shots.
gotta
That's
sip
a
it,
mixed
a
type
little
of thing.
ice,
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah,
either mix it, sip it. We just took a shot just because we wanted to, do a
we're
little
degenerates.
toast. Yeah, and do a little toast, but definitely sipping it, and whether it's neat, with one cube of ice, in a mixed drink. I've tasted it with some type of mixers back when they had an event a few years back. Definitely a good vibe. So next time you come, when that is, we'll the rest of the bottle I'll save for us, and we'll do it right. But glad you're able to taste it. Unofficially sponsored, featured, Billionaires Row for the holidays, for the new year. I might have a couple sips on it for the New Year's Eve. I usually don't go out. Me and Bree don't usually
Maybe some
partake in the
champagne.
craziness. Yeah, we got a bottle and champagne on deck. I'll save that. So, what do you have planned for a New Year's Eve? Do you usually do something? Do you usually stay home? What's your vibe for this year?
It usually depends where I'm at, man. I really don't like going out on New Year's too much. I went out, I think it was like 2 years ago. I went down to South Florida and I went out and didn't do me too well, to be honest. I had a burger and it didn't sit right with the boy, to say the least. But no, I usually stay at the crib, man. I don't really like going out on New Year's too much. It's too many people out, one, and most of the time it's too many rookies out. And I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't drive, but it's especially down in South Florida, man, and probably down here in downtown Savannah. I'm just not gonna take the chances. I'll probably just you know vibe
Yeah,
out and chill. New Year's, like when I was younger, it was cool and whatnot. It was fun to celebrate it, but now it's honestly just like another day. It's not really like a holiday or anything
for
to
real.
me, to be honest. It's just whatever.
Yeah, back when I lived in New York when I was younger, well, above the age of being able to go out with my friends and drink, my mom always liked to have me at the house at midnight, and then I could go out, or not that I could go out, she would prefer it, right? So there would be times where I would go out after midnight, or I would go out, come back, and then that would be my night. But um, last 3 out of 4 years that we've been home, we've been just chilling at the crib. We'll put on a movie. Usually there's some good movie releases because, during the holidays, movies come out on streams now, on whatever it is. So usually I just, watch football or football games or basketball, whatever's on during the day. And then, watch a movie, get drunk. I'm probably asleep by 1 a.m. and wake up, and at least I feel like a little bit more fresh than I would if I went out to start the holiday or the day. But probably this year will probably be the same thing. Where 2023, I've been doing it right for the same way for the last 3 years. Why not keep it going with that? Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Obviously you talked about a little bit how, if you have a resolution or anything that you try goals set, do them now. I get that. Some people aren't like us where you can do it right away and keep it moving as you're eating a juicy chicken tender from Zaxby's, which I'm very jealous about. Do you have anything in 2023 that you already started or that you're going to do? Whether that's diet, whether that's read more, don't be a whore, stuff like that. What do you got?
Well, I'm already not a whore, okay? What's wrong with you? I'm a well-rounded
individual,
wholesome man, okay?
Good.
No, but
your mom watches. Your mom watches now. This is good.
Yeah. Moms be watching, so yeah. No, I got a few, man. Honestly, and it's just like kind of normal stuff. Probably general, mad basic, but just stuff that I struggle with, and I got really good with it for a little bit, but I got away from it the past few months, and just not even saving money, but just being better with my finances and kind of just making sure that I know where my money's going to, and going back to, I was printing out my statements and highlighting the stuff that wasn't something that's a necessity, and just making sure, because like, bro, like sometimes you get a paycheck and you
gotta
look
at your Venmos too. People forget about that. You got to look at your Venmo. Your Venmo is like cash that you don't. Just because you don't look at the app history doesn't mean you didn't spend the money.
Yeah, there's a good app, and Ben Baller put me on it, and I mean, if anyone likes like business, golf, especially golf, he talks a lot about golf, but just hustling and like shit like that, and just being well rounded, like we talked about. Ben Baller podcast, Behind the Baller, he put me on a few things already. Rocket Money, bro, used to be called True Bill. This app,
I just heard an app. Bill Burr just had an ad for it literally today.
Yeah, of course he's sponsored by it and whatnot, but like this guy like really talks about it all the time, and I know he uses it because he talked on another podcast about it that isn't sponsored by it. So it'll send you alerts like every week, like, hey, this week you used this much percentage more than you normally used, or less percentage. Like it'll tell you all your subscriptions that you have, and all you have to do is hit cancel, and they'll fucking call whatever subscription company and cancel it for you and let you know. And they'll tell you, oh, this is a larger like transaction that you normally use. What's up with this? Shit like that. It's good. So I'm really gonna get on my fucking like budgeting tip again, and kind of just like stacking bread, because times ain't easy. Shit's getting rough.
Yeah.
And then the other one I have is just better food management, and just eating healthier and a little bit cleaner, and like cutting down on things I want and don't need to eat. And I am starting my cut in the new year. Shout out Day Quads. He's gonna be putting me on a little cut program. And we were at Wawa the other day, and I ordered this fucking like cookies and cream Oreo milkshake, and he's just standing there like this, leaning against the wall,
in a corner like this, like,
and he's looking at me. He's like, you better enjoy that, bitch. I was like,
the disappointment in his face.
He's like, you're like fucking facing 3,000 calories to the dome right now. I was like, yeah. He's like, you ain't gonna have nothing close to that for like 6 months. You're gonna be eating straight bread and butter. I'm like, fuck. But it's just to see what limits my body can take me. It's mind over matter, and
it's good.
I'm scared going into it, but I know like after like a month and a half, if I'm committed to it, I'll see results and I'll be good. And then I just probably get used to it by then.
It's always good to challenge yourself. Yeah, it's always good to challenge yourself physically and mentally. I think that's the one thing about, we joke about it, and I always, clown people for like making New Year resolutions. But if you start to realize things at the end of your year, because a lot of things you start to realize as your year is ending. That's why it's important, whether that's money. All of a sudden you bought gifts, you did this, you did a couple of vacations, and you're like, oh shit, money, I got to do this. Dieting is not easy. Starting Halloween, Thanksgiving, maybe other religious holidays you got in between, parties, and then cap it off with New Year's and Christmas. So I get why New Year's resolutions are important. I really do. Because I start to realize the same thing. I'm like, oh shit, dieting. I'm like, damn, I've been eating like shit lately. And I love that this year, calendar wise, it falls like January 1st is on a Sunday and then January 2nd is on a Monday. So it almost feels like a new year, new month, new week. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You can start it right. For me, that's important because I'm very schedule uh, orientated. And then to bring up your last point about budgeting, that's a good thing because a lot of people they need that every single day, every single week to how much am I spending on this? I know a lot of people that I think I brought it up on this podcast. I thought about opening up a side hustle of like managing people's subscriptions or monthly
I remember you talking about that.
expenses because a lot of people don't realize, man, you subscribe to this, you forget about it. Your bank
Or you'll
account
do
is on.
like a free trial for like 30 days and then they'll bill you and you forget about it too. And it's been 6 months and you're getting charged $15, $20 every month and
Yep.
you
Your
don't see
bank
it.
accounts your bank account is up to auto pay on certain most things just so you don't forget about it and you're late, but then all of a sudden you forgot you pay your phone bill that I review at least every few months just in case of a lot of promotions people don't realize on phone bills, cable bills that lasted only 6 months, 12 months. Next thing you know, it went from you're paying $50 to now you're paying 80 because you didn't update the promotion or you didn't account for that. And then you're realizing,
Yep.
why am I spending? I just spent an extra a few $100 in the last 6 months because you didn't change it before. I'm built a little different from that. I can't relate to those people and yourself, which is a good. That's one of my my strengths is I check my every bank account every day. I manage all my subscriptions per week, per month. Meaning, if anything changes, I'm managing my emails. I'm a little neurotic with that. I am somebody. I'm 1%. I'm the 1% of people. So it's something that I've always been. Maybe it's the Cuban in me. I always shout out my mom's dad, my grandfather because he was very neurotic with finances and he was in the banking business for his
Okay.
career when he came from Cuba. So I think I inherited that from him in my DNA. He never taught that to me. I think I just did it, and it comes natural. That's why in my household I manage our finances. I'm always trying to figure out different bills. But hey, if you're listening to this podcast and you got, stop and go to your apps right now and go figure out maybe you're overpaying for things, whether that's food, cable. I'm always looking at different Trader Joe's. We switched over recently. That's a little cheaper than what we were doing for Whole Foods.
Yeah.
That probably cut down $200-$300 a month just from making that switch. So little things you could do in the new year. And then for me, exercise is going to be big. And I don't go to the gym like you. I'm not motivated to go lift weights per se. I do have a bench, excuse me, and a dumbbell set that I got to utilize that I got myself, but being more active, riding my bike,
Yeah.
playing hoops, shooting around, not playing games, but just shooting around, going on walks. I gotta run more. My neighborhood is great for running and walking because
It
it
is.
doesn't have
It
doesn't have
really
a lot
is.
of doesn't have a lot of car traffic, so you can kind of don't have to worry about safety because that is something when you're walking and running on roads people don't think about, but not all cars are paying attention to a pedestrian on the side of the road. I
For
hear
real.
about crazy fatalities every single probably year, just being like, damn, somebody was just walking or running on the side of the road and they got hit by a drunk driver. I know I didn't want to bring it to that negative thing, but be aware when you're running, whether it's at
Hey, it
night
happens,
or during
bro.
the day.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought up that, all the holidays at the end of the year because that was one of the things that my brother brought up because I wanted to start my cut like back in September, and he's like, "Dude, that's not a good idea because you're gonna come down for my birthday end of September.
Yep.
Then you got Halloween. You're gonna eat candy, you fucking do whatever. And then
Hmm.
November, you got Thanksgiving. You got your birthday. You got mom's birthday. You're gonna come down again. You're gonna drink for your birthday. Then you got Christmas. You're gonna come down for that. And then you got New Year's. Like, let's just wait. I know you want to start, which is good, but just keep doing what you're doing. Let's just wait and start in the new year." So I'm glad you brought that up because I mean, once you start something like a cut, bro, it's not something that you can just have like a cheat day or two every week. Like you gotta really be
You got to
dedicated
put
to
your
that.
body through it.
Yeah. So hey,
I love it.
I'm prepared, bro. I'm ready. I'm hype, but not really.
No, man, and that's what you got to get excited for. That's why I'm glad we're putting it. Not only are we discussing it, personally, because I'm sure via text we would have probably talked like this, but this is the first time we're actually talking about it. But we're putting it out on the air. We're putting it out on, on a
Yeah.
scale where people could maybe hold us accountable, and that's what it is. It's all about your friends and others holding each other accountable for, like, hey, didn't you say you were doing X, Y, and Z? Hey, it's up to the other person to be like, nah, fuck that, I'm not doing it anymore, or this is my cheat day, whatever they want to say. But it's important to have people that at least call you out when you said one
Yeah.
thing on Monday and on Friday you're not doing it. So it's
You're
good
doing
to
a whole
have
different
people.
thing.
Exactly. So this is good that we're at least putting it out on a program and a platform. Which, hey, 30 days from now,
It's
let's do a
public.
little check in on each other. Let's make sure, because now that we said it, and I'll be honest, yesterday I was fiending for the last couple days for a burger. I don't ever fiend for a burger. There was some, I think I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast. He mentioned Five Guys, and we ordered Burger King last night, and I went in on some burger. Bro, I was to the point where the burger was just stuck in my chest. I had to take a Tums. But I'm glad I'm getting it out of the way now on the 26th and the 27th of the month, because I got 4 or 5 days before it's like, nope, I got to put that
I had
past me. I got to resist.
I had a daily double on my drive home yesterday.
Daily double. I told you about them
So
shits,
good.
Doug.
So
You got
good,
it.
yeah.
For people that don't know, daily doubles, they're not on the menu when you do the drive-through, but some places don't have it. I went to only one place that didn't have it. I think it's because you didn't know how to work the machine or whatever. Daily double. It's the best quality, and I'll put that in quotes. It's the best quality burger you're gonna get, because it's just simple. It's just burger, but it has tomato, onions, and all. Like, it feels like it's a little bit more fresh than like a
Yeah.
double cheeseburger that just like smushed into place. So good choice, my guy. If you're gonna cheat,
Yeah.
at least do it in a good way.
Yeah. Daily double's solid. I'm glad you put me on that.
Ooh,
But no,
see, now that you
honestly,
bring it
when
up,
if
I gotta get me one before the new year now.
five guys, the burger place establishment, like that's doesn't beat, like Five Guys is the best, bro. You can't beat that shit.
Yeah, damn. See,
Like,
I'm gonna get myself this week. I'm gonna go all in if I'm gonna be serious, because I'm once I lock in, I lock in. I take it dead ass serious. A couple of years ago during the pandemic, I went through a vegan phase where I
I
think
remember.
for months, out of every 7 days of the week or every 30 days of a month, I did like 95% of my meals vegan. So like I like to take it serious. Like I said, I like to challenge my body, but I also like to challenge mentally, because a lot of people are weak as fuck, and they say one thing and then they can't even do it an hour later. And it's like, you gotta give yourself something to look forward to, or suffer a little bit, because we all live very privileged lives, even though a lot of y'all don't want to admit it. We live very good lives. The fact that you have $1,000 phone, you get to eat probably most likely whatever you
You
want
got
that day.
internet, you got
You got,
power, you got hot water,
in my
you got
opinion, that's
AC,
overprivileged. That's
you got a roof
overprivileged,
over your
because
head.
a lot of people don't, bro. A lot more people
Yeah.
don't than do. So that's how you got to look at it. But anything else pertaining to New Year's holidays, just to kind of get that out of the way, we're rolling 30 minutes
No,
deep
yeah,
into this
just
episode. I love it.
if y'all got something, let us know. DMs and to lab
We'll
talk,
hold
whatever
you
you want.
accountable.
Yeah, we'll lock in with you, and if you got something that you think could help us, we'll try it out too.
Hey,
You
I'm going to
know.
write that down. Lab
So
talk, New Year's, right in your New Year's resolution. Because we'll hold you accountable as well. But some news, we'll get to some news, and then we'll drop it like it's hot. Let's see. One thing I thought about, or I saw real quick. You remember EASTBAY?
yeah, the magazines and website.
I seen today they were trending. I was like, EASTBAY? Is this the same EASTBAY? So I look, and it said that they're closing at the end of the year. I wanted to know,
Saw that.
did you ever buy anything from EASTBAY? Literally, if you guys aren't familiar, before the internet, you had to look at a magazine, you had to get the little
yeah.
number, you had to either go on the internet to like submit it, or you had to like mail it, and then they would send you that. Did you ever order anything? Because I remember a couple things I ordered from it.
Yeah, I used to buy a few things from it. I remember they had like baseball gloves every now and then. Yeah, so I would buy some baseball
good deals
stuff.
on those too.
Yeah, always good deals, and it's kind of sad to see. I did see that, and I kind of dropped a little thug tear.
End of an era.
But, yeah, it really is that they're I didn't know that Foot Locker owned them.
Oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. Okay,
they're gonna focus more on like champs and some other stuff that they have going on, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, the sneaker game and stuff like that has gone obviously all
internet, all apps,
and apps, exactly. So if you're, bro, I mean, like, it's sad to see, but if you're still buying stuff off magazines and whatnot, like, you need to do a little bit better.
Still mailing in checks to pay your bills.
Yeah, no, it's a sign of other things to come in the future, but it was a little sad to see. I did see that tweet, and I was like, "Oh, damn, EASTBAY." I had forgot about it for a little bit.
Yeah,
but
me too. I was looking at it. I was like, I remember when like Ron Artest was on the cover of that with the headband that it went across the head, and then another headband went across the middle of that. It was the wildest thing. They also had the springs, so when it trained your legs to jump higher. So you bought these sneakers that basically had springs on it. It was almost like a stilt spring, and it would train your calves. It would build your calves so when you to jump higher and shit. I remember some things like that, but like you said, I bought a pair of Jordans, not a number pair, like those Jordan flights. I still got a pair. Probably. I still got that exact pair in my mom's house. I bought a pair of Jordan flights. They were like aqua. They were like basically the 13s, but like not the 13s. So they were flights. I still have those pairs. I have that exact pair in my mom's house. That's still my size. Actually, I should get that from my mom's house. Bring them here. But I bought that from EASTBAY back in the day, and I probably bought some baseball stuff as you did. Are you looking up anything or pulling up anything?
I'm trying to find the cover that you're talking about.
If it was not a cover, it was at least a picture of it. So like Ron Artest, if you do like Ron Artest, EASTBAY, look, let me spend 2 seconds on to see if I get it ready. Ron Artest, EASTBAY headband. See if I could work my Googleizing, man.
I just found it.
Yep, there it is. One. Here it is. If you watch, see that headband?
I remember that. Yeah.
If you see it on YouTube,
fire, though.
Yeah, dude, it was like it was like a trend for a little look like Jamal Crawford on it. Like it was like a trend for a little bit, they're trying to be innovative and all that thing. That was in the early 2000s where, headbands were big. Every time I was in a recreational league, I wore a headband. I wore the finger guards because of AI. It was all about trends then. So it looks goofy now, but it was kind of cool back in the day when you were looking at it. RIP EASTBAY. One thing, did we talk? Maybe pulling up, pulling up the image. Yeah, Ron Artest. You got who's that? Joe Thomas, I think his name is.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, Joe Thomas. He was a former net, I think, at one point, or a Nick. The early 2000s was kind of wild with headbands and accessories. Baggy, like reverse. You see Jamal Crawford in the picture here. He's got the reverse jersey on. Shout out Nelly for making that popular. Armbands.
Jersey. I definitely wore a few jerseys reverse.
Yeah, it was just like in the 2000s, man. It was people were trying to figure it out. People were trying to be trendsetters because MTV was big, music videos were big, pop culture and NBA was growing. So it was kind of like a weird time, but it was a great time to be alive, and I'm glad I got to experience that. Because
Allen Iverson was doing it all, and then David Stern was like, "No, wait, hold up,
literally,
no,
had to put an end to all that." AI was that guy that
suits.
AI was the guy that completely revolutionized the off the court swag and on the court swag with the armband and the way he wore the cornrows. Man, what a time to watch, to be a kid playing basketball and be idolizing
Bro.
these dudes. It
With
was
the tattoos and then the sleeves. He had to wear sleeves. They didn't want him showing
bro
some of his
in the nine
tattoos. He had the
in the
finger bands.
bro in the mid '90s, late '90s, full sleeve tattoos in the NBA were not a thing.
No.
Like AI, Carmelo Anthony, all these guys coming in. LeBron came in with tattoos. Like, what? It was like foreign for the league. So those boys, to this day, you see high schoolers hooping with full arm sleeve tattoos, basically. Did we report? Did we? I was gonna say, did we report on it? Did we talk about Tory Lanez getting found guilty last week? Well, all right, here we go. Tory Lanez. If you guys don't remember, what was that, 2-3 years ago? I could go into details. It doesn't matter. I thought it's just funny that Tory Lanez might go to prison for like 20 years. That shit's wild. Allegedly, he shot at Megan Thee Stallion over some
Well, I mean, it's
bullshit.
not allegedly anymore.
It's not allegedly anymore, right? If he gets found guilty, you're right. I stand corrected. That boy going to prison. He got guilty on either, I think it was
All
several
three charges.
counts. Yeah,
All
all
three
three
charges,
charges.
bro.
So, man, imagine you going to prison, because I've seen a lot more people not go to prison for far worse shit than what he may have to go to prison for. Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe he's got good lawyers. He doesn't have to serve that time, or, there's some technicalities, but that shit escalated quickly, huh?
Yeah, I was talking to one of my boys about it, Reggie, when I saw him at the wharf this weekend. We went out for his cousin's like going away party, and I mean he brought up some good points. Like they didn't find Tory's DNA on the gun, so the eyewitness was saying like conflicting events, and then it went way too fast. That trial was way too fast. Like it seemed like they just wanted to rush it and get it out of there and be like, "All right, here, you're guilty, bro. See ya. Have a nice life." And I mean, it kind of sucks because we don't really know what happened still,
Mm.
and it's just like I don't know. It's a celebrity case, and like I don't ever get involved in that kind of stuff because it's all about money. It's all about clout, and like I don't know. Hey, Tory Lanez held it down during the fucking pandemic during COVID, so gotta thank him for that. His IG
He did
videos
drop. He did drop
and shit
bangers.
like that. So he was always live doing I forget what he called it. He had women dancing and stuff like that on the internet on Instagram. So when Tory Lanez went live during the pandemic, everyone was tuning in. He set records during that actually.
Oh fuck! All right, well, shout out Tory Lanez. He'll be going to prison soon. Shout out.
His dad,
Hopefully,
his dad was going crazy. Also, his dad's got a really fucking nice ass beard. Like
I've
that
seen
shit
that.
is super crisp.
He looks like Tory, but with a beard, right?
He does look like Tory a lot. I don't know, people blaming Rock Nation, shit like that. But I mean, like,
Yeah, I seen that was trending. I didn't get the correlation, but like what? They try to cover something up? Like what?
I don't know. I guess Meg is signed to Rock Nation, maybe. I
Who are
don't.
you
I don't
blaming?
know.
Why are you
I
blaming?
don't know.
Come on, Doug. Find a better
It's
find a better person to blame, or entity to blame.
yeah, yeah. So
FTX
just don't
founder
shoot
Sam.
people. Don't shoot people. That's it.
Yeah, don't shoot at people. Shoot at
Yeah,
shoot beaches, oceans.
yeah. Beaches.
Ah,
Yeah, in the sand.
shout out you. Shout out my pops.
Good times.
FTX
Good times.
founder Sam Bankman released on $250 million bond, which is wild. I seen a picture of his girl, by the way. I didn't know or
Ew, bro.
expect what his girl looked like. I swear, I had no expectations. Obviously, I take that back. I had a little expectation, and it wasn't what I seen. They're a bunch of fucking real fucking nerds, huh? Just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
around scamming
Super.
people. Super nerds. And when I say nerds, sorry, that has a connotation to what you may look like. Um, Nerd alert. But I wasn't far off by what when I seen it. I was like, oh wow, this is exactly. I thought it was like a because modern day nerds, they'll blend in. They could be your boy rocking some fresh Nikes. They don't have to be that weirdo with New
Yeah.
Balances or Monarchs on. But
What's
yeah,
wrong with Monarchs?
not nothing. I gotta get a pair. Actually, I need
I
a
got a
pair so I
pair.
could. Yeah, I know. I need a pair so when I do my outdoor stuff in the summer.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
yeah.
now, right now I rock a pair of Nikes that are pretty fresh, and I ruin them. So those are like my Monarchs, but they're pretty fresh. What do you think about that? $250
No,
million bond. Goddamn.
this whole thing is fucked, bro. Because they're treating him like he's some kind of like American hero, or like he's a politician or something. Like he's um, what's that shit called? Where you political immunity? Is that what it's
Yes,
called?
something like
Diplomatic
that. Yeah,
immunity.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got you.
So I mean, not only did he just rob him and FTX and his family or whatever, rob a bunch of people and organizations, because the Miami Heat, I said it before, they fucking had their arena named after this
Yep.
fucking exchange, this marketplace. I mean, it sucks because they also kind of made it seem like it was their site and their app was really easy for beginners and people that didn't know much about crypto to get into crypto and buy it. Their app looked very not that well developed, to be honest with, because I downloaded it and as soon as I looked at it, I was like, this doesn't look good. Like this is not how. Let's just say that I wouldn't. I was like, I'm not buying anything on here, which was a good thing. But not everyone is as versed in crypto and knows. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know a lot about it, but I've been in the crypto world for a while, so you pick up on things and you learn certain things along the way, and along the way you're going to make mistakes, but never those mistakes should involve getting scammed or getting robbed. And some people were putting their hard-earned money into this kind of stuff, and it just sucks that he went out and bought himself and his family cribs and mansions and gave his ugly ass girlfriend money and all this kind of shit.
And
And
that's not allegedly. That's a fact.
yeah, and it's like, bro, like, what are
I
we
meant the
doing here? Like,
ugliness of the girl, not that he did
yeah,
that.
like we
Oh
treat
shit.
we treat these other people, that haven't done nearly as much as what he did, and we automatically put them in prison and jail without anything crazy. And this guy's just walking around. He was doing fucking interviews like nothing, and getting away with all this kind of shit because I mean he was laundering money, bro. Like money was being laundered to the fucking. They were like top 3 in giving money to the Democratic Party, and I'm not going to get into politics or whatnot, but that money was being given to Ukraine, which is another topic that we're probably going to get into, and then right back to us. So it's just all wash, and it's just all fucked up, and that's
That's
why.
one of the reasons why I don't put, or when people talk about millionaires and billionaires, a lot of people, oh my, that's a picture I seen. Is that real?
Fam,
She looks way too young.
fam. No, they had like an interview with her, and that's actually her.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
And hey, whatever. Hey, I mean, look at him. It's not like he's anything special either. He's just a fucking fraud of a nerd that figured it out, that got caught, because they all get caught at the end of the day. But this is why I don't put value on people, millionaires and billionaires. That, oh my god, he's so successful. He's such a good man. He has all this money. He's successful. They always use that money and success equals you're a good person. Nah, bro. Most likely, that makes you the antithesis of a good person. Because what did you do to get all that money? So, not saying
Well,
if you have money you're a bad person. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying let's not create that black and white oh, he has money, he must be successful. That means he must be a good person. That's not. It's not what it is. It's not that straightforward. Ended on that. What do you got?
I mean, if you're someone that's older that listens to our podcast and you're not well versed in crypto and you don't know too much about it, I'm sure y'all can remember Bernie Madoff. Pretty much the same shit.
Documentary on HBO Max. Go watch it if you didn't.
So, oh, is there? What's it called?
It's not a documentary. I'm sorry, docu-series.
Okay.
It's probably called like Bernie or something like
Yeah.
simple. I'll look it up while you talk. God.
Yeah. So, I mean, we know what Bernie Madoff did. This is kind of similar to it. Just, people taking advantage of other people that aren't well versed, don't really know what they're doing, and thinking they could get away with it. And with crypto, bro, especially nowadays with technology and everything, it's very easy to find where money's going and how it's moving. There's a link to everything. So, and there's people that sit on their computer all day and watch Etherscan transactions, and that's their fucking hobby. And one of these nerds is gonna find it, and they're gonna say some shit, bro. So, pretty much at the end of the day, is if you're in crypto, if you're in that kind of stuff, buy yourself a ledger, buy yourself a fucking what's the other shit called now? Um, Another one of those little crypto wallets. Just buy it off there, keep it, have your keys, know your passwords, know all that kind of stuff, and
I found
that's all I can really tell you.
I found what it is. Not a series. I thought it was. It's actually a movie, but it's an HBO original. It's called The Wizard of Lies, starring as Bernie Madoff, Robert De Niro, Michelle
Ooh,
Pfeiffer as his wife. It's very good. So definitely go check that out. It was made in 2017. It's a 2 hour plus movie, but it's good. It's like if you want to watch, because some places don't do documentaries and they're bland or as good as you want it to be, right? I want to learn
yeah,
about the history of something in the 50s, let's say. You watch it and you're like, I'm bored 5 minutes in. You could just tell by the flow, the way they do the interviews of people. Sometimes it's good to see either a movie or a docu-series because they make it a little dramatic and a little extra fluff, but you actually picture how everything literally felt and went down. And in this movie that they have on HBO, you feel each person. His sons went through it. I won't give it away if you don't know anything about it. His sons went through it, man, because they were a byproduct of all this, and they,
yeah,
mental health for sure. And then you watch all the people that got scammed out of it that paid the consequence. So it's pretty good to go check it out.
yeah. I'm gonna have to watch it one of these days for sure because that shit sucks, bro. Like it makes it hard for other people that are trying to create something to move up, and just makes people not want to trust in certain things. I mean, we shouldn't really trust banks anyways to begin with, but
Never, never,
there's not many other choices.
never. Staying in that topic of the news or in general is Ukrainian president, like you alluded to, Zelensky, man of the year. We didn't bring that up last episode. I'll let you just speak briefly on this. We brought Ukraine in, and I'll say my actual 10-15 second take on it is, a lot of people were quick just because Russia declared war on another country, Ukraine, that we were all pray for it, support it, give money. People put their fucking Instagram on it, without knowing anything political. Literally, 98, 99% of Americans, including myself, couldn't locate Ukraine on a map, didn't know the colors of Ukraine most likely. I've learned a lot since, but to like start saying you stand with them and you support them without knowing what and why and how, that's ignorant. That's ignorance 100%. If you educated yourself and you learned about it and you understood it from beginning to end, cool. Show your alliance. But there's a lot of people in America, even friends, family, whatever, that showed support for a country that they knew nothing about. And I've since learned a lot about. and I'm skeptical. So I want to hear your quick take because I feel like you read a lot of articles or a good amount of articles and videos. So just give your little 2 cents on that. Man of the year.
Before I even go into it, this shit had me cracking up. Also, by the way, Adolf Hitler was Time Man of the Year way back when. So not
Shout out.
not people like not the best people get put on there all the time.
Yeah,
but this shit had
yeah. That's
this shit had me cracking up.
What's that?
This is the Slovak.
We're watching a video
water.
right now.
Poured water. They tried this Ukrainian flag stuff. Some of y'all may have seen Nancy. They had it upside down. May have seen Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris holding the Ukrainian flag as well. No, this is just this is nonsense, bro. He shouldn't have been Man of the Year. It definitely should have been Brittany Griner. She did a lot more for us than no. Also, just kidding about that. No, but like, there's a lot more other people that are well deserved of this award, whether it be a good award or not. And whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, he was here the other day and saying that the money that we're giving them is not enough. Like, dog, what are we talking about right now? And did you see that bill, the 1.7 trillion omnibus bill that they're trying to pass? Did you see what's in it?
Crazy. No, I did not.
Bro, this shit is fucking crazy. It's like 45 billion to Ukraine. Let's see. To fucking make some building for Nancy Pelosi in her honor or whatever.
Oh, jeez.
Also, Nancy Pelosi's net worth is now like 400 something million on like $100,000 a year salary. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever the numbers are in the specifics, there's no reason for a Speaker of the House to have that much money unless she's doing fraud. And
well, we know.
We all know.
Yeah, we all know.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, just this is ridiculous, bro. This is all an agenda. I feel like we talk about it every week, and
yeah,
just gotta stay in your own lane, bro, and
educate yourself.
You. Yeah,
educate yourself. Don't be tied to a. My advice is don't be tied to a party. Don't be tied to any box. Don't put yourself in a box mentally or ideologically, and just be open minded. Things change. Things evolve. What I thought about 2 years ago, what I was so big on 2 years ago, has changed so much. You know why? Because the world has changed. My life has changed. My priority has evolved. My future has evolved. So never put yourself in a situation where you're just thinking one thing and you're forced and you have to because of the people that you're tied to. So be open-minded.
All right. So here, what's in the 1.7 trillion federal spending bill? 45 billion to Ukraine aid, 335 million to prepare for influenza pandemic, 286 million in Title X funding. I don't really know what that is. 65 million for salmon restoration. Don't know what that is either. 65 million in programs for Senator Leahy and a federal building named for Nancy Pelosi, and 3.6 billion for Michelle Obama Trail.
Yikes.
This is where our money's going to, by the way. So, if you want to commit tax fraud, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing at this point in time.
You might get away with it for a long time, but let's keep it moving. Enough about political stuff. I'll get to your Blueface thing because I want to talk about that at the end. Quick NBA, either news, on the court, off the court. DIRK got a statue outside. Used to
LeBron been known.
You sent me that. That was funny. I like it, the fadeaway jumper. I like that they did that because on the court to this day, Dirk Nowitzki gets, if you look the silhouette of him doing it on the top left. So if you're looking at the broadcast on the top left of the court, you always has where he would do his his
Yeah,
fadeaway.
they
That's
have it
pretty
on
cool.
them.
And
Yeah,
I like on the
first.
court. I like that it's subtle too. You can't see it unless you
Yeah,
look for it. You know,
yeah.
I like that a lot because one thing Mark Cuban does is he's a great businessman, obviously, right? But also he treats the people that play for him. He was one of the first owners to create the locker room like a vibe, have televisions, have audio, like electronics in there. So I give it to Mark Cuban. He's a great owner. There's a reason why a decade ago he was gonna buy the Chicago Cubs, and MLB owners did not want him to buy them. Why? Because that means he'd throw a lot of money out there, and the MLB owners are pieces of shit, and they don't want to improve the
I
game.
remember that.
Because exactly they don't want him to be that new guy that changes it out. And guess what? Now they got Cohen in the for the Mets, and he's doing exactly what Mark Cuban would have done. So it only took some time, and baseball's got to shape up. But Dirk gets a statue. Ja debuts his Nike sneaker. What you think about that? We talked about a little bit.
I mean, I'm hyped for him getting his own signature sneaker. That's a big point in any player's career. I look at those sneakers and I don't see Ja. Like it
Okay.
doesn't
There were
say
low
Ja
tops,
Morant
which we
to
would
me.
know, right? We would know because he
Yeah,
likes low tops.
they were low tops. I just feel like, and it's not his fault because he's not in there doing the creativity for him.
I
I'm sure
mean,
he has
he's
some
got some
kind of
say.
say.
He's got to approve
Yeah,
of it a little bit.
but Nike needs a revamp type of thing because Kobe's, LeBron's, now these the Jaws, they all look very similar. And it sucks because Nike's at the point where they're like, oh, we don't need to be original. It doesn't really matter what we do. Motherfuckers still gonna buy our shit. And it's true. But you look at some of the Adidas, you look at the New Balances. I mean, we're gonna see where Kyrie goes in the next few weeks, months, whenever he makes his decision. And it's like, if you're a hooper, if you're a real hooper, like you're not gonna go for looks on sneakers. You're gonna see what's best,
Whatever, it's comfortable.
protection wise and
Yep.
comfortable wise. It doesn't matter if it's a swoosh, three lines. Like it doesn't matter. Like
Yep.
at least that's my point. That's how I look at it. So Nike needs to switch it up a little bit, but hey,
Okay.
like I said, Ja, that's good for him. And I mean, I feel like that's another reason why they also moved away from Kyrie to make room for Ja.
Room for that, yeah.
And if there was,
Market wise, yeah.
yeah, and if there was someone that would take Kyrie's place, it would be Ja. And
Yep. Makes
I'm
sense.
I'm glad it was him. Sad to see Kyrie go, but also that's what happens in
Yeah.
business and life and anything. So
I rock I only own one pair of Kyrie's, which is the Squidwards, which he came out with, SpongeBob series. Rocked that for Christmas. That went perfect with my Christmas sweater. So speaking of, I rocked that this weekend. But when Kyrie comes out with whoever he signs with, I will. I haven't bought a pair of sneakers in a really long time. It's been a few years. I went off for like 2-3 years buying sneakers every month, and then I stopped. But I will support him. I will support. Probably they'll be fire most likely. So between what did we say, Puma and New Balance, something like that. I hope he goes to
yeah,
Puma. Only
it was
the
Puma and
Jay
New
Z
Balance.
connection, the Jay Z connection to Puma, J Cole. I think they're on the right track with Lamelo Balls with Puma,
Yeah,
Kuzma, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
got some new, fresh take on that. I think they'd work well. Obviously, he'd be
The
their
Pumas
number
are
one.
nice. The Pumas are really nice. Like I've
Hell
seen
yeah.
some of them. Some of the Lamelos are really clean. New
Yep.
Balance like kind of did their thing. I mean, it's Kawhi at the end of the day. He's not really like the flashiest person, so they're very subtle. But
Yeah, I
I
think they
mean,
got Murray of the Nuggets. I'm trying to
yeah.
think of the commercial that they put out recently. I think they got somebody on the Magic. I forgot who.
Plus, New Balance got Jack Harlow.
Whatever. Let's not talk about him, please. Other NBA news: AD out indefinitely. Nets are rolling. Nets
Hooping, bro.
hooping, winning 9 in a row. Currently, I gotta announce this because they're my team. Their Boston Celtics are 24-10, number one in the East. Milwaukee 22-11, a game and a half out. Brooklyn 2 games out of the Celtics in first place at 22-12. And absolutely hooping. They've won 9 out of the last 10, 9-game winning streak. They're looking really good. And in that mix of the last 10 games they played, not the best quality, but they've played a real good quality of basketball, and that's the difference. They beat the Cavs yesterday, which is a good matchup at Cleveland. Obviously, they beat the Bucks, which is huge. They beat Golden State, which
They beat them
uh,
pretty
they they
handily
they
too,
were,
right?
yeah, exactly. So
That's
they have
right.
some good mixed in there. But hey, wins are wins. You can't make up your schedule, right? You can't, like,
Right.
you know what I mean. Everybody's got an easy point of their schedule. Everybody's got a tough part. They happen to be winning their easy point, so
Yeah.
I'll take that. So I'm excited about the Nets doing their
I'm
thing.
excited too because just as a hoops fan, as an NBA fan, it's finally good to see Kyrie and KD both healthy, both out of like any kind of off the
Yep.
court drama, whatever the
Right.
case
It's
may
good to
be.
just watch pure basketball, huh?
Watch them hoop, man, and like those two are some of the most pure hoopers ever. Like if you want to watch good basketball and poetry in motion, you watch KD and Kyrie. Like
It's a beautiful thing,
that's what
brother.
you need. It really is. And
I'm
they get
glad
the
I
role
got it.
players involved too. Claxton, I've seen he's been
Yep.
hooping.
Shout out TJ Warren, a guy
Yeah,
that didn't play in 2 years since the NBA. Remember, he dropped
the
50 in the
bubble.
bubble.
Yeah, he was
He
hooping
hasn't
in the
played. He
bubble.
hasn't played really since because he got a foot injury. Bro, he put up 22 points the other night, yesterday against Cleveland off the bench. He's been. I'm telling you, he's 6'8". He's 30 years old. He's
He's a good wing guy.
he's on a 1 year deal. That means he's playing for a contract. The year that he got hurt, he was going to be a free agent, and he was already making, I think, anywhere from like 10 to 12 mil. So he was looking for a big contract, like
Right.
18 mil contract, 20 mil. So when you talk about motivation, that's a great pickup by Sean Marks, of the GM of the Nets, because you pick up a guy that's hurt, so you're taking a chance, but you're only paying him like 4 million, 3 million, but he's gonna try to hoop to try to get that next deal. Most likely, it won't be this deal. He'll probably maybe settle with the Nets for maybe a 2 year deal, and I would love that because man could score buckets, bro. I'm watching him, and this is only his 10th game. And he's averaging 10 points a game, and I'm watching him little by little get better. So it's been fun. NFL.
Where'd he go to college?
I like that you put me on blast. Hold up.
I remember watching him in college.
Yeah, I don't think I watched them. TJ Warren. Let me get back to you on it, so I'm not awkwardly thinking. Give me like 5 minutes, and I'll try to get it. I'm not gonna look it up, I promise. NFL. JJ Watt retiring. Thoughts?
I
Announced today.
mean, JJ Watt, man, like he was probably our era, like probably most likely one of the more dominant defensive players we got to see. It just sucks that maybe he was on some PEDs and that's why he was always hurt the whole time. But that doesn't take away from anything he did. He was very dominant. He was electric, and he kind of put Houston on the map. That franchise that was just fresh, brand new with Andre Johnson and Matt Schaub, and then they had the running back. I forget his name, Arian Foster. So he held it down, and I mean now you got his brothers are in the league, and
Yep.
that's a great football family, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
glad that he kind of had a revitalization. Is that right? Revitalization in
Bucket.
Arizona,
Bucket.
where he's he was always like kind of injured, and he came back, and now he's playing a lot better. He had a baby. It was
Shout out.
his or her first home game, I think. I don't know. First game that they went to, and he said it was going to be his last home
His
game.
last
So
home game. Yeah, that was cool.
yeah,
I seen that post today.
yeah. But I mean, he changed the game for the white D lineman.
He did. He did. He changed the game. Him, the original guy too. Well, one of the original guys too with Minnesota Vikings. Was it Jared Allen?
Jared Allen, 69.
He got put in their Ring of Fame, or ring, whatever they call them. Hall of Fame, Ring of Fame, whatever it is. This year actually, because I remember him. He was a beast as well. One of the
Yeah,
white guys on the D line. Shout out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Not too
That
many
like
of you.
them
Not too
two,
many of
Clay
y'all.
Matthews. You know, so no, well deserved. I mean, he's a real humble guy, down to earth guy, and you don't really see that much in some of these football players, or at least they don't show that part of them too much. So shout out to him. You know, he did his thing.
TJ Warren. Are we talking Big East?
Is it Big East? No, it's ACC.
Okay, I'll come back to it. I've been thinking this whole time while I'm doing it. I'm multitasking. Clinching week for teams, NFL teams. Obviously, we got 2 weeks left. The Giants, if they win versus the Colts, they'll be in. So very simple. Control your destiny. You want to make the playoffs? Go out and win a fucking game. Beat a team that's not trying to win fucking games and be in the playoffs. That's all I have to say about the New York Football Giants. What about your Miami Dolphins? What do you guys need to do to clinch?
We need to win, and we need to have. I
Couple
think the
L's.
Jets lose. The Jets lose to Seattle, but
Okay.
we win out. We're good. But I don't trust this team to win out, even though we're playing New England. That's not very good, but at the end of the day, it's still New England. It's still Bill Belichick coach football team in Gillette, and then we come back home to play the Jets, which
Okay.
again aren't that great of a football team, but they dropped 40 on us, and we started off 8-3. This is our second. We had a 3-game losing streak. Now we're on a 4-game losing streak. A few years back ago, we started 1-7 with Brian Flores. We won 7 in a row. Now we started 8-3, and we're at 8-7. This is some bullshit. If the Dolphins don't make the playoffs this year, bro, with going out, getting Tyreek Hill, getting Eric
playing
Armstead,
very well for the first third of the season, or yeah.
I'm gonna flip a shit, bro. I might deactivate my Twitter.
Yeah, a lot has been happening, and it has to do with your quarterback getting concussed. That's basically all it is. The defense has been a lot like not has been very lackluster. May I say? I
Defense
thought they
played well last game.
yeah.
They've done some adjustments and gotten a lot better
They
since
have a lot of talent, and maybe just the talent's not clicking, and maybe it's coaching. I don't know. I'm not talking that deep into it. I'm just saying I know the talent you guys have on defense, and it shouldn't be performing according to what it is. But the offenses has been, and the times that you guys have straight out lost has been because Tua hasn't been in the lineup. So clutch time, baby. This is it. This is you got to win. 2 games left.
That's when it counts.
Make it count, yeah, for sure.
You don't make yourself known in week 6, 7. You know, doing whatever. You make yourself known in week 16 with the game on the line, playing against Aaron Rodgers. In your home stadium, and you get the ball with 2 minutes left after throwing 2 picks, and then you throw another pick. No, bro, everything would have been forgiven. Everything would have been forgot. You go down the field, score a touchdown. No one says anything about your 2 picks that you just threw the 2 drives before. But you go and you throw another one. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. You can't do that kind of shit. That's not what it is. It's not what you do.
100%.
You're better than that.
You got down Ed Reed, new head coach of the Bethune Cookman.
Yep.
Talk to me.
Yep. Hey, I mean, he was just Ed Reed, legend, NFL legend, probably top 2, top 3 safety all time.
Easy, one of my top 3 defensive. Him and Ray Lewis are in my top 3 of all time.
Yeah, it's good to see another, black person get a job. I feel like it's happened before, but I feel like now with
Been
Dion
snubbed lately.
Oh, 100%. And especially in the NFL, it's very bad. So that shit needs to stop and it needs to change. But I mean, it sucks that it happens. He was just with Miami. He was like some sort of like advisor to the coach or the program or whatnot. And I believe Bethune is at HBCU. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bethune is HBCU. So that's good. Yeah, they are. And it's good to see. I mean, this guy, if you're not getting like high D1 offers, if you're in Florida and you're not getting that offer, you're not getting that UF offer or that FSU offer, hey, Bethune is right in Daytona. Daytona's a nice ass city. You're close to
Yep.
Jacksonville. You're still close to South Florida if you want 3-4 hour drive, whatever. You're still in Florida and you'll have a good ass time. You're a cornerback. You're a DB, and Ed Reed pulls up to your crib as a head coach. You think you're gonna say no to
Imagine.
fucking Ed Reed? I
Imagine.
wouldn't. I wouldn't, dog.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. So that's what's up. I'm happy for him, even though he doesn't know me. I don't know him, but huge fan, and I'm glad to see him get that opportunity. I think he's going to do well. I wish it would have happened with Miami, and Miami did a better job of having their former players involved in the program, but they haven't been so great at that in the
Yep.
past few years. But hey, everything happens for a reason. I'm glad that Edry's getting a shot, and I know he's going to do well because he's done well in everything he's done in football. So I don't see why that would change anytime soon.
100%. I agree with that. Shout out the New England owner for, the Pats fan that went viral. He was, it was for those that don't know, Pats fan was at the Vegas Raiders game, getting yelled at by a white woman. He was a black kid, so let's put it. I'm not trying to create anything. It's what it was, and that is actual a thing. And it's white women after a controversial ending where they lateraled it back, barking in this man's face, and the young kid, he didn't give her any emotion back. Was probably the best behaved in that situation because 99.9 of people would have walled out, and it still would have been understand. The New England Patriots owner got wind of it, flew him out to Gillette Stadium, sat in a suite, watched the game. Yeah, this is the video that we're showing on YouTube
My
now.
man's had the same fit on.
Oh, really?
And for the record, we don't know what was said before the video, so like he could have been wilding back too, but we're gonna take it as word.
I haven't seen this one. This is a
Yeah, me
different
too.
one.
It looks like he's not saying much. He's not being as belligerent as she is.
No, she was in his grill. Oh, right here.
Yeah,
This is
she's wilding. Obviously, the Raiders
unacceptable.
win. Yeah, the Raiders win by a thread on their dick. In a crazy play at the end. She celebrates in his face, cursing at him, saying all this shit. Like I said, we don't know what goes on the whole game, but from the looks of it, it
Over a
doesn't look
regular
like he's.
season win.
It looks like he's not walling back. Yeah, Raiders probably won't
They're
make the
not even
playoffs.
make the playoffs. Yeah.
Both teams might not make the playoffs. But yeah, good for him actually because it seemed pretty legit. He tweeted out
That's
a
the power of
response.
social media.
That was his first game, I think, or something like that, like where he got to go watch. So we all want to believe in social media puts good out there, and I'm always trying to believe that there's some good that comes out of social media. So I'm gonna say that she was wilding, he wasn't, and he got the better of the consequence than she did. So she got a dub, and he got a fucking bigger dub in life.
All expense trip out to fucking Gillette Stadium and sat in the owner's box.
Yep.
Hey, free tickets to a football game or dinner with Robert Kraft?
He probably, I mean, he got both. He was eating the side of, like, you know what I mean? He got both of it. It's like he got tickets, and then I seen a video where Robert Kraft was like, "Hey, by the way, it's cold outside. Do you want to chill in the suite?" Like, duh. Couple things on football.
The whole time.
Couple things on football, and then I'll let you get a blue face. R.I.P. Ronnie Hillman Jr. Damn.
Saw that.
I remember watching him in Bronx.
Bro.
Young, bro, like 31. And then Demarius Thompson died, right?
Demarius Thomas, yeah.
Thomas, sorry. He died. He passed like a year ago. Like, damn, what the fuck?
Hey, look.
And for different reasons. Obviously, Hillman died because of cancer. But I'm just saying, like, motherfucker, like either way, they're not, you know.
Yeah. R.I.P. Franco Harris too.
That's
shout out Mike Grundy. Shout out Mike Thompson.
Shout out.
That's kind of weird, bro. Like, how they were prepping up the whole Immaculate Reception anniversary thing. It was this Saturday. It just
Yeah,
passed. It
right.
was
And then he died on like
Raiders.
the Monday or
Then
Tuesday
he
of.
died. Yeah, like that's a little weird to me, but
What do
he
you
was a
think?
legend in his own
Conspiracy?
right.
What you talking?
I mean, like, they call me conspiracy theorist with COVID, and now look
Nah,
at me,
ah, that's true.
But yeah, no, all this kind, man, just
He's a
kind of
goat
just
in the
going back
league
to
for he's known to us as one play, you know, to the last couple generations just for that one play. But it's like anybody, when you watch a player his whole career back in the 70s, watch him win 4 Super Bowls, he's not known as just one play to
no,
you. He's known for his league. So like that's like watching I'm trying to think of somebody like Eli Manning. Like, oh, Eli Manning, you watch his career highlights, he has that play that he threw it off the helmet, and then he has a couple other plays, and you'd be like, oh, that's all he's known for. But like, no, Eli had many, many moments. So yeah, Franco Harris is one of those guys that everybody knows him for that one play. But most people that grew up watching him knows him for being a dominant running back. Shout out Franco Harris. Talk to me about Blueface to end the podcast.
dog. So I know we see this stuff on social media, and we don't know him or like her, Krishan Rock or whatever her name is. But there comes a point where, and I don't know when this started and why it started and how. I don't understand it, why Twitter and Instagram seems to glorify toxic relationships. And it's not fucking cool because the more you see things, the more you look at things, obviously, like, it becomes a habit, and your habits become your personality, and just you whatever you're consuming, you slowly start to become. And that's not like me just saying something because my mom told me that shit when I was younger. That's just is proven. It's scientific fact, whether you want to believe it or not. This shit is fucking toxic, bro. Like, she's got a missing tooth. He like he's over here, like, I'm sure he just went to jail to get away from her, to have some solid me time, because the shit that they be doing, and this man is on here in interviews and he's like blinking and shit, and like he'll be like, "Oh, I'm not kidding." Like, he's like, "Oh, she's gonna beat me," and she'll be like, "Oh, he's just being funny. He's just joking," you know. And he's like, "I'm not joking," like, with a serious face, and like you could tell with his body language, and he'll be like, "Someone help me." And they were on another big Twitch live streamer, not Speed, but I think Kai Senate or whatever. They were both on after he had got released from jail, and like she grabbed a chair and like went to sit in it, and there was already a chair there, so she just threw it. She threw the chair and made a hole in Buddy's wall. And she looks at him. She's like, "Oh, you're rich. You'll just fix it, no problem." And Blueface is just sitting there like, "Yo, someone, like, just please help me." And now you got all his shit going on with her dad and them fighting, and like, yeah, that might just be for like whatever like reality TV show they got going on and shit. But like, there's kids and people that see this kind of shit and they look up to it and they want their relationships to be like that because they think it's cute and funny. No, 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 no. That's not how shit is. That's not how you want your relationship to go. None of that is cool and funny. And I mean, I say protect Blueface because I see him to like be more of a victim, but I mean, protect her too. Like, we need to split them up and get them as far away from each other as possible, because one of them is gonna, like, this man Blueface had 2 black eyes or some shit. He was just with his baby moms for Christmas. My guy looked mad happy. He had a smile on his face. His whole body language was totally different. So I don't know, man. Something's gonna happen between these two, and it's not gonna be a positive outcome.
Yeah, there's I watch videos of it, and
I just went on a rant about Blueface. I never thought in
yeah,
my
it's
life
wild.
I would do that shit.
I'm glad we saved it to the end, so a little less people are listening. But hey, it's something that is a good topic. It's fun, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have fun here. Not take any topic we talk about. We try not to take too seriously or take us too seriously, but we just at least we try to have a conversation about it, at least a dialogue. She has an alcohol problem. She's admitted to it. She's a alcohol abuser, and I don't know too much about him. He's not making quality music anyway. And I've seen the before and after pictures of her, and hey, if she's happy doing whatever she's doing, acting the way she's acting, whatever. As long as she's not harming anybody.
No,
nah, come on. I'm trying to empathize.
Dog.
2023. I'm trying to empathize with more people.
Yeah, but just because like you have alcohol problems, that's not an excuse for you to do and behave how she's behaving.
No, I know. They're both wilding.
Get help on your alcohol problem, which is the root of you beating my dog up.
But what I think of, and I've seen the extended version yesterday of Blueface, the video confrontation with her family, is at the end of the day, I think what they're trying to do is get like a sign to a reality series. I think that's what's gonna try to come up next, whether it's a minor production or a major production. They're trying to work their way up towards something. They're business people. They're trying to. They know the clicks they're getting. They know if they go on VH1, MTV, YouTube, whatever, they're gonna attract eyeballs. So that's all the time I want to spend on that. Let's end the episode. Any shout outs? I know you got some family stuff going on if you want to shout out them. And then we'll wrap this up.
I mean, yeah, this is tough just because it hits so close to home. I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't really even want to talk about it because I appreciate it. It needs to be said just because stuff like this, bro, like I always say like, oh, it can happen to anyone. Always check up on your people, stuff like that. But I mean, I was at the casino the night before and like the morning of and shit, like, and that stuff like never entered my head. Like you don't think of stuff like that. And I woke up to the news, I found out that my cousin's house had burned down. I guess it was on the 23rd, I believe, or early 24th. I'm not sure exactly the day. And that's honestly like I can sit here and say that's one of my worst fears that could happen to me. And I thought about this as a kid a lot because I lived in an apartment and shit, and like your house, bro, that's everything you've worked for in your whole life. And also everything that you've worked for your whole life is also in your house as well. So it's sad. Um, their family, they got a young boy, Adam, he's like 5, and then Gabby, I think she's like 11 or 12. I've watched them both grow up. And it's just, like I said, it hits close to home. We have a GoFundMe up. Gabby made it. My cousin Gabby, I'm not sitting here and telling y'all to go donate. I don't expect anyone to donate. I know everyone has their own personal things going on and the economy is whatever, but anything helps. One of my friends, Cash, shout out her. She got a box together of some clothes. It's just, bro, things that you don't ever think of or expect. And it happened to someone in my family. And I could sit here and talk about it all the time. And when I was making the post to say something, I was really trying to think of something to say. And normally I'm really good at saying things and writing stuff down, but I literally just sat there with my phone and like it kept like going to like kept turning off. I had to turn it back on because that's how long I was sitting there, really just trying to think of something. But in that kind of time and those kind of things, there's not much you can say except, hey, I'm sorry for what happened and try and help out. And I mean, it is what it is, but I know they have a lot of faith in everything they believe in. They're a strong ass family, so they're gonna get through it. Of course, I know they are, and it's just shitty, bro. It's not, and like the timing of it, right before the holidays with the kids. That's who I feel most for because you don't really think of stuff like that, or you don't know how to react or how to behave when something like that happens. But at the same time, now they've been through something like that, so it's only going to help them and further them and be a lot tougher for whatever may come later on in their lives. And maybe that's a good thing for growth or whatnot. Just trying to look at the positives, although right now is very little, but like I said, they got their faith. They know. I'm sure they had a lot of stuff settled and they knew what to do. So I think they'll be all right. And I got a pretty big family, so we're all gonna find a way to help out and pitch in and do what we got to do to make sure they get out.
Yeah, good, man. I mean, a lot of things I could say. I don't want to say too much because it's personal to you, but a lot of things, big or small. You always look back after you get past it, and you evolve, you get better. Everything happens for a reason. All those cliche
Yeah,
words happen, and then you look back, you have time to reflect, and you go, damn, I can't believe we got past that time. I can't believe we got better. I can't believe we used to be here. I can only relate to myself. There's been situations where not that catastrophic, but on a minor level, which was only to me at 23, was kind of a what they're going through. I thought at 23 I was going through the same thing, and it wasn't. But in my life, that's all I know. Like Rogan always says, you only know what you know, right? Your worst time that you go through is your worst time that you go through. You can't relate to
yeah,
anybody else but what you go through. So I know with great support and also great people from what I get a sense of you and what I see 5 years from now, 10 years from now, those children will appreciate their parents, appreciate their family and friends way more, appreciate life, and they'll be better because of it. It's crazy how life works, but sometimes when something like that in a bad opportunity happens, the right thing arises. So yeah,
yeah.
I appreciate
And
you
to
for
quote
sharing that.
the great Geno Smith, South Florida legend, for the second time on this podcast, my tough times would be a dream to someone else. And that's some real shit, bro. That's a fucking bar. Ben Baller said it on his podcast. And sometimes we got to really, like, we talked about at the beginning, how lucky we are, how blessed we are. We got to really look within ourselves and realize, hey, of course, we're not Geno Smith and we're not getting paid millions of dollars to play a kids game. But at the end of the day, if we really look at what we have and everything that we're blessed with, our tough times would be a blessing to someone else. So, you know, just don't take things that you have for granted and just keep it moving. Stay in your own lane, mind your own business, and don't worry about other people. Because when you start worrying about other people, that's when shit that's not supposed to happen, and it's just a snowball effect after that.
Yeah, got to keep things in perspective, and not glad that it happened, but it's a reminder for myself, you, and whoever heard about it and that's involved is appreciate every day, appreciate the little things, and the beautiful thing from that is whatever got damaged can be replaced. Whatever was
Of
damaged was
course,
material, things that you could
100%.
replicate or get back through whatever. And hey, everybody in the family lived, everybody's healthy, and then you can move on from that. That's what's more important. So we'll end it on that 55. Not to end on a morbid note, more on a motivational note for the new year. So hopefully you listen to this episode and get more motivated and more excited about life and 2023. But
Yeah, DM
next up,
us, email us, tweet us. You need some help with anything, like, you need uplifting, you need,
hey,
motivation. Like, we're here for y'all, bro. Or, just DM DJ Kuzmo.
or DM DJ Kuzmo. Shout out.
He got
I
y'all.
wish
Shout out.
I should. Maybe next. Maybe we'll start off next. New Enter the Lab in the new year with his video or his
That was
promo
so
because
awesome.
I need to play that. So shout out
That was so
DJ
awesome.
Kuzmo. I know when we
Yeah.
drop this episode tomorrow morning or today morning, he'll be listening to it. And we got a little nice surprise for you next week. But that's episode 55. In the new year, Enter the Lab, Fort Sama, Elvis Escobar will be refreshing things. If you have any feedback, let us know. To our loyal listeners, not if you listen to once a month, once a year. To people that listen to us often, give some feedback. We're taking it
Yeah.
all into account because in the new year, we want to keep things fresh, have some fun, evolve as a production, and keep this going. So, for episode 55, we'll see you next week, possibly live for the new year. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Peace.